Right, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Natural Physique podcast once again. Myself, Noah, and Finn here. Matt is coming, he just says that he's taking ages to park. So let's pray for Matt and hope he gets a good parking space and he's on soon. We're going to chat a little bit about training during your peak week, more stuff about prep in general. We've been on a roll with talking about prep stuff and giving some value, and I know people have actually been getting a lot from it. I got a message talking about how much somebody got value from the what to do 1 hour out from stage. Someone who'd already competed, they were like, "Mate, I
Mm.
wish I had watched this beforehand." It was like it would have made me kind of expect so much more to happen. I thought everything was going to run so smoothly, but you spoke about stuff that you don't really expect, you don't know, and it's all from experience. So yeah, it's good to provide value and hopefully it's helping some people out there. But we'll go through that and then we'll chat some shit as usual. But to chat some shit, how have we all been? Week's been good. Finn, tell us about your week.
All has been lovely. I had a nice Valentine's weekend with Megan. She lives in a really nice village called Bollington, and it's literally like it is pretty much the Peak District. So we went on I'm going to say nice drive. It's not a nice drive. It's fucking horrible. We went on a horrible drive to a nice walk.
Nice.
So I went down on Friday after I trained. The fucking worst drive ever. Like my left hip seizes up if I'm in my car for more than like 20 minutes. So like I've got a tactic where I basically get a 2 litre bottle of water and lodge it down the side of my hip, lodge it up my arse, lodge it down the side of my hip, and it like obviously prevents me from going into like abduction.
Yeah.
So that helps, but it's still not great. But anyway, like this drive, I don't know why it took me this way. It was horrendous. Like literally some of the worst roads I've ever driven on. Tiny roads, constantly other people coming the other way, having to reverse and stop in a little space, potholes everywhere. Fucking nearly drove into this reservoir. Like I was literally just driving. I was like, does this road turn or does it just go into the reservoir? I literally looked like I was going to drive into it. Anyway, I got to hers and we had a nice night. Went to a spa that I'd booked for Valentine's, which was lovely. And then we basically just had a normal weekend. We trained, we went on a nice walk, etc. What we do anyway. Obviously, we were both dieting, so like we went for a coffee, but like we didn't do anything like food wise or anything. We were going to go to the cinema, but then we just couldn't be asked time wise, and there wasn't anything that we were that
I
asked
was gonna
about.
say to watch what? There's nothing really on, is
Yeah, we watched. So we've just finished a series called His and Hers on Netflix. I would massively recommend it. It's a little bit slow getting started, and it's American, so some of it's a bit like a little bit cringy at times. But like it was sick. The ending's really good. So like if you get a chance to watch that, watch that. But yeah, otherwise another week of dieting. High day yesterday, high day the week before. Had a high day and then weight dropped. Like obviously the day after the high day it came up, and then it like literally plummeted within like a day or two. So then just repeated the same thing. And yeah, feeling pretty good.
sick.
Yeah.
So
You're looking good. What was the? Are you using the pad in front of your
Yeah,
biceps now? I saw
I don't know
Matt do
where
as
this
well.
arm blaster came from, but it was just randomly in the gym. I was like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna use the arm blaster. So we
I
got an
saw Matt
easy
use that as
bar.
well.
Yeah, it was on his story the other day.
Who used it?
Matt.
Matt.
Oh yeah, I saw it on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we just randomly had one. So like the easy bar, I bought. I bought it months ago when I was away on holiday with my mum, and it just never turned up. So I had to follow them up on it because I was like, somebody asked about it, and they were like, "Have you got that easy bar that you said you bought?" I was like, "I'm sure I bought it," and then I checked my emails; they'd just not sent it. So MirrorFit sent us one out. So yeah, since we got that, I've been doing easy bar kills, superset with like an easy bar JM press. It is nice.
Love that.
Yeah,
It's like a pure influencer number.
yeah,
Getting the arm blaster on and the wife beater.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
But
more arms your physique needs to be fair. Just
yeah.
more arms. Right?
for sure.
That's all I do. Just keep
Yeah.
training now.
Weakest body part.
Yeah.
Noah, yourself, how's your week been?
All good to be fair. Back training after the deload. I feel like I was scratching the walls, just wanting to train again by the back end of it. Still felt a little bit dick down, but I was like, I want to go. Matt is now popped up here. But yeah, back training. What did I get up to? Did I do anything over the weekend? No, nah. I just started playing Minecraft again. I'm on that 2 week Minecraft hyperfixation, so that's
Oh yeah.
that's what that'll be. I think that's just now's current hyperfixation. But aside from that, training going good. And then yeah, that's about it. Boring update again.
Easy.
Pulled your
Easy,
food
easy.
down.
Yes, food got pulled down this morning. could see that weight on rest day was going a little bit, like weight was moving up, and decided maybe the right time because we don't want to start prep too heavy, so we tapered things back a little bit. So dropped, was it 330 calories training day and like 290 rest day. So 50 carb training day and like 50 carb non-training day.
Pretty much 50 carb and then
Yeah.
like 10 fat.
Yeah, it was a
What
wee
does
bit of
that
fat.
take you to, like in terms of calories slash carbs? Do you know?
Hmm?
What does that take you to, like with your calories and your carbs in total?
I think we pulled down a little bit of trace protein. So I think I'm around 235 protein, 450 carb, 60 fat training day, then 60 fat non-training day, similar protein, 235, and then like, what are we, 300?
Yeah.
Yeah, around about there. Which, to be fair, like I don't have an appetite still, so it's really not that much of an issue. And yeah,
I
first day on
remember
it.
putting down a big stinky like 800 carbs or something.
That was fucking years ago, though. That was
Yeah.
like for maybe 2, 3 weeks. After that was at the back end of the first off season after prep when food got really high. I don't know how I was going through so much, but then since then my food's never touched that high. I think the highest before was 500.
I think
Highest
that's
this
actually a
time.
good talking point. Like people think they've got to get their food higher than ever before.
Yeah.
You definitely haven't. Like I've eaten way more than like my last off season, last gaining phase because I fucking was a PT. I was on my feet all day. Like depends on so many different factors, like how well you digesting food. I've had people on like stupid food, like a stupid amount of food come to me, and I'm like, how many bowel movements do you have a day? And like, oh, like probably like 4 or 5. I'm like, right, that's an issue. Like, let's pull your food right down, get to the point where you're actually digesting it. Maybe having one bowel movement a day, maybe maximum 2, and they're gaining weight on like 1,000 calories less because they're actually digesting their food. It's like people think you've got to eat more than you have in the past. It's like you definitely haven't.
Yeah, it's the same with body weight. Like I was writing up a post to put up next week. It was about trying to get to like new body weights every single off season. Like you don't need to. Like I'm never gonna touch 96 again. Like most likely because I don't want being that heavy again, or at least looking like that. So you don't need to be pushing for the higher body weights every single push up. And I think that's what I've been learning more than anything. Like as long as you can make the most of your food, you'll be fine. You'll be absolutely fine.
Yeah, I think in your younger years, if you're a skinny kid, if you come from that kind of, background of being, let's say, like somebody who struggles to put on size, then I do think having that as like, I need to get bigger and heavier and eat more food, yeah, that's fine. But
Yeah,
like,
but whenever you get to that kind
yeah,
of
once you've been there, if you've competed before, if you've already got a good amount of muscle, like getting fat for the sake of getting fat just means the next diet's going to be harder.
yeah.
Yeah, staying responsive and sensitive in general so that you don't need fucking dig for your next phase, your next diet, because that extra weight is just an extra 4 to 6 weeks of dieting at the start, and then before you know it, you feel more cooked, and yeah, it takes away from it definitely. But Matt, how you doing? Good.
I'm alright, yeah.
What are you munching on?
Nothing's really happening. It's just
Yeah,
fucking same again. Same
the
again.
usual. What is it that you're eating? Give us a wee show. Usual.
Chicken, rice, spinach, peppers, and courgettes. The courgette shortage is over. So I haven't been able to get courgettes because of the bad weather in Spain. So that's finally
Wow.
ended. Kind of got
That's
fed up with
interesting.
cucumber as well, so it's good to be back to courgette.
Back to basics. I feel like you always have courgette. Has it been weeks or has it just been a few days? Has it been months that you've not had them?
Oh no, it's been weeks.
Oh damn! I thought I
I'd
heard
be
you say
glad to
that
resort
before.
to cucumber, which it's alright for
Enough.
one meal, but we see when you're having
Cucumber
it
is
like two
shit.
meals,
No,
it's
it's
just
not.
We're in
fucking watery. Like
Cucumber
America.
banging.
Yeah,
it's
cucumber is
not.
banging.
I
It's
really don't like
nothing
cucumber.
compared to courgette.
Nah, not a big fan of it. I feel like it doesn't
Cucumber's
taste
just so
enough.
easy as well. You just literally chop it up. Like, you don't have to cook it or anything.
Like I remember we
Courgette,
had
you just chop up.
we had it in
Raw courgette.
LA. Not very
Your
nice. Like
courgette.
so solid.
Yeah, I'd rather.
Eating. It's not nice. Not a massive fan of it. But what's the macros for you, Matt? Where are you sitting? Have you got more than Noah, less than Noah?
Um, training days like 3,500. So I'm like 513 carb. Protein is like, hold on, I've actually got it up here. Um, protein's like quite high. It's like 240 something. Fat's around 60. And then rest day it's like 220 protein, 65 fat. 367 carbs, so like just under 3,000.
Nice, bro. Nice.
Did
Yeah,
anyone
that's not bad though. And you think you'll get that higher before prep, or you think you'll stay the same?
Yeah, we're just not pushing for it. Like my body weight's already just above 180 now. Like I'm continuing to look better, so it's not the end of the world. But based on like previous stage weights, we know like I'm going to be just under 160. So I don't want to have to pull like 25 pounds off. You know, I've got about, I think it's just under 20 weeks from the start of prep until the first show. So like we're not actively pushing up anymore. Body weight continues to drop, then we can put a bit more food in. But like food's in a good position. If I was to start prep now with that food, I'd be happy enough.
Yeah, definitely.
So I imagine it
When's your prep planned out for?
starts the 4th of May.
Fuck yeah.
So still have like a good couple of months.
Yeah.
It's weird. It just feels like mentally I kind of want to just start now. I don't know if it's other people prepping or what. I'm just kind of like, yeah, I wouldn't mind starting to diet
I
now.
think we were saying that today, weren't we? Now I was saying like it's so easy to look ahead and
Yeah.
like just count down the weeks before prep and like trying to remain present in the phase that you're in. I think is important because like before you know it, like you will be prepping and then you'll not necessarily get to a point, but like within the prep, you're then thinking, oh, I kind of wish I was a bit bigger. I wish I was on more food. Wish I was pushing back. You know what I mean? Like obviously, yeah, you've got the excitement of your shows and stuff, but I do think that is one. It depends on the person, but I think, at least for me, I think that is something that I don't really benefit from. Is like being like, right, I'm starting prep on this date, and then just thinking about it for months. Like I'd rather just be like, I'm just gonna basically just enjoy my gaining phase, keep things tidy, and then just prep when the time's right.
Don't
Instead
get
of
me
being
wrong,
like,
I'm still loving this current phase. So
Yeah, I think you can do both,
you
like a
can do
mix of
both.
both. I've got that. I'm really excited for this day starting, but I'm also really enjoying performance being where it is and just eating a bit more. But when prep comes around, I'll be like, oh fuck yeah, we're prepping now. But
Yeah.
I'm enjoying this phase at the minute anyway.
Just having goals in general. Like you do want to be a process based person, but you also do want to have goals as well.
Yeah,
Like I've got a goal for getting this certain car at this time or getting a house at this time. Like doesn't mean that I won't appreciate my car at this time or appreciate where I am at this time. But I think it depends on your personality, as you were saying, Finn. Like for you, you don't really need that, but a lot of people are just like that fires them up. You know, thinking
yeah,
like
it does depend,
everything
doesn't it?
by a
Like
certain time. It's like yeah, that's fucking
some
sick.
people with like the timeline that we have on the sheets. Some people, I'm like really on it with them and like, right, you got this amount of weeks until that, and then this amount of weeks until that. Other people, I'm like, I don't even need to update the timeline. You know what I mean? It's just like they're just in a gaining phase, and we're like, oh, we'll diet when the time's right, mate. You're in a good spot, and keep going. You know what I mean? So it does depend on the individual.
I always do like a wee countdown at the top of my notes on the sides. It'll be like 19 weeks until prep, and then it's got the date, and then each week like I'll change that and update that and count down 18 weeks, 17 weeks, 16. So it's like kind of giving direction and clarity. Like I really like that for my clients and even just for myself as well. Like counting it down, it makes me feel a bit more. As much as maybe it shouldn't be, like it does make me feel a bit more urgent. It's like right, I'll get
But
that.
that's like in your checking notes. That's exactly what I have for you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because I know that you like that. Whereas other clients would stress them out. Like
Yeah.
I've got it with clients where I'm like, mate, you might not even prep.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Like just fucking enjoy your life. Train, eat, enjoy your life. Do the do. You might
Yeah.
not even prep. You might. We'll wait and see. You know what I mean? Because some people need that. Otherwise, it's like too much pressure on them, and then they don't enjoy it. And if you don't enjoy it, you end up sort of resenting it, not making the progress, or not doing what you should be doing.
Comes back to everyone being different, doesn't it? Like just with anything, with training methods, with volume, with this and that, everyone's different. There's no exact answer, but yeah, exciting times ahead for both yous. I'd say both yous, probably the three yous, Finn. Looking at the way that things are going with you getting leaner and getting your trunks on.
I bought some new trunks tonight.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I bought some new trunks because the black ones that I had before, one remind me of my last prep, which nothing. I don't want anything to remind me of
You
my last
really
prep.
can't think about that, can you?
Like literally nothing. I'm not allowed to even think about it. And they were too small, to be fair, which is a good sign. Like obviously, I think if I was all the way in, they might not be too small, but they probably still would be.
Your balls are getting massive.
Yeah, I've just got my fucking balls have grown so much in this last off season. But yeah, like to be fair, like obviously people like who watch this are probably quite invested in us guys. Like I've got some shows that I am looking at, and I obviously like put an update in the Natural Physique Hub because we all do like an athlete log, and like said like, oh, if I'm looking at shows, it's these amount of weeks out, and like I have got shows that I want to do, and I have got like goals that I want to achieve, but like the main thing is, and like I need to actually enjoy it. Like, and so far I'm loving it. You know what I mean? I'm feeling good. I'm literally still progressing all my lifts. Like everything's going great. But if it gets to a point where I'm like, I fucking hate this. Like, and if I think back to like last prep, I don't ever think I was like, I fucking hate this, but I wasn't happy. You know what I mean? Like I definitely wasn't happy. And I think also I was like wasting a lot of energy. Like when I look back, like I was definitely wasting a lot of energy in terms of driving to and from Rotherham a couple of times a week, driving to the podcast studio once or twice a week, which was Lutterworth, which is like 45 minutes. On a rest day, I'd have to like smash through work to drive there, drive back. Also, I'd have to fucking set everything up when we got there. I'd have to prep all my meals because I'm setting everything up, and you know what I mean. It's like now my life is so much more in line and like relaxed, and I'm in more control of all these things that it's like I don't see any reason why I wouldn't enjoy this a lot more. You know what I mean? Because I'm not wasting that energy elsewhere. Also, Megan's a big part of it. Like she just makes everything a lot easier, and she's very supportive of it all, and she's like my biggest like cheerleader, if you like, which is really nice because like I feel like your partner should be that. She's also very honest with me. If I look fucking shit, she'd tell me. But like that definitely helps. But yeah, like I've definitely got like goals and shows that I am looking at, and like the thing is, with how I'm feeling now and the condition I'm in, like obviously I'm not fucking peeled, but I feel absolutely fine. Like I feel really good. Like I feel as good as ever. You know what I mean? I've had like maybe once or twice where I felt a bit quote unquote preppy, like hypo on a walk after like I think it was like basically coming off the back of a high day, a couple of days later, going on a walk after one which is basically just whey and dark chocolate in the morning. Bit hypo. Yeah, of course I am. Sound. You know what I mean? Like all these things, and I also like just coaching more people, going through more preps as a coach. I'm so much more like knowledgeable and experienced in it all that like I'm so much more rational with my decisions as well and how I think, instead of like overthinking everything or stressing about things or ripping my physique apart. Like, I know I'm not the fucking best bodybuilder in the world. That's okay. Like you don't need to be. You know what I mean? Like just fucking be better than you were last time and enjoy it. And like I already know I'll be fucking miles better than last time.
Yeah. Yeah, shots are probably good. That side chest with you being zombified was crazy compared to what it is now.
Oh mate, I know. Yeah, I know. That is like it's bad. That.
So how much heavier are you just now? I feel like when I seen that we were similar. Like you're 12
Yeah.
to 14 kg up. I'm 12 to 14 kg up.
Yeah, should we kiss?
Yeah, me and you go on the stage together. Work it.
So yeah, the lowest I got down to was
Because you work in pounds, I work in kg. Like it.
well, I work in kilos now, mate, because I want to disassociate from like the last prep.
Yeah.
I got down to 71 kilos, 157 pounds,
Damn.
and like now I'm like 84.
Yeah, that's crazy. What do you think? You don't need to be going any lower than 76?
Yeah, I think 75 probably at the lowest, 78 probably at the heaviest in terms of like a stage weight kind of range. 75 to 78 I'd like to be, which is what, like 4 to 6 kilos, 4 to 7 kilos up.
6 to 7.
6 to 7 kilos.
Nice. I was waiting for someone. But yeah, that sounds good. Again, like there's no pressure on your end, is there? And it's just kind of enjoying it. Like once again, I prefer like right, this is what my fucking prep is. This is what I'm doing it, and I need to work towards that. Whereas you're very much more chilled and
Yeah.
different.
That's it. I've got shows like outlined, but I've also got other shows I could do, and also I don't have to compete. You know what I mean? I get to a point where I don't like how I look, or I think I don't know. I just don't think I really want to now. I literally just won't. I feel like no pressure, which is really nice. Like people know I can prep. You know, people aren't gonna be like, oh, you can't, mate. I've fucking ruined myself before. Like I can do it.
Yeah.
It's the fact that like I want to actually make sure that this is the right time. And to be fair, in regards to like my life at the minute and plans in the future and shows at the end of the year with other clients and stuff, this is the right time.
Yeah.
So
That's what I'm thinking about, like next year as well, like end of the year, you know, being busier with clients. It's like, do you want to do that? Do you not? And how much will that impact me? Like Adam Poe is an example. he had a lot of clients. Obviously, he has to look after his kid as well. But like I feel like with him having loads of clients and then traveling to different countries and shit like that, it had a big impact on how he looked, how he felt, managing stress and stuff like that. So it's also managing that at the same time. So just new challenges, taking them as they come, I guess. But yeah.
Yeah, I also think experience within coaching as well, and just like the more that you do it, the better that you get, and the more relaxed you get in your decision making and things like that. And if you have a client who's stressing you out, like knowing how to talk to them about the fact that, you know, the stress that they're creating themselves and yourself is not making things easier. And but again, that's all easier. That's like easier said than done right now. But when you're fucking depleted and at the end of the prep and just fucking battered,
Yeah.
it's obviously a lot more difficult to manage that
Harder
stress.
to do so. Yeah. Well, sick. Short wrap up for my week. Nothing much. Trained as usual, ate as usual. Had a Deftones concert on Friday, which was great.
Stop.
Yeah, mate. I was spewing in my toilet at 3 a.m. First time I've done that in years. Good memories. But no, that wasn't enjoyable, that part of it. I was lying in my bed and I was just thinking, am I going to be sick? And I kept just trying to go back to bed.
How much did you drink?
Six or seven ciders.
Yeah.
So I had 2 ciders just in the house. I trained legs, and it was like a funny time, funky time. I was like, am I going to eat just now, start drinking cider, and then go out, and I'm going to get something to eat before the concert because I'm not going to be able to eat afterwards. Places aren't going to be open and shit. So it's like, I'm not going to eat, and I just trained legs. Came back, got Rise and Shine down me, so hydrated well, got myself ready to go, some vitamin C, let's have it. 2 ciders, stood up to walk. I was like, oh my god, there's no chance that off of 2 ciders, like I'm honestly like quite out of balance. So 2 ciders done me in, had an extra wee half of a cider, we had to go get the train. Had my 5 guys, and I'd not ate since like 10 a.m. 5 guys, this is like 5:30. Got defeated by a burger and small chips, which was fucking embarrassing. Had a wee mini milkshake though, you know, the wee small ones now. Last time I got them was the legendary Resorts World, actually.
Oh, good God, man.
Can't wait for
I missed that place.
20 Resorts World trips this year. But no, I had that, and then when we got there, was in for a wee while, came back out and slammed 2 pints down me, the cider. It was like the gassiest shit ever, and I had my top off by this point, and I could literally see myself like bloating instantly as I'm drinking it. So gassy, and then that's when I ran back into the mosh pit to get to the next song.
Why did you not think, right, I've had 2 ciders, I'm a bit drunk, but I don't need any more? Or did you not think, why don't I have like a, I don't know, like a
You had a
vodka
Smirnoff
Diet
Ice at
Coke?
some point, didn't you?
Yeah, so after the 5 guys, I'd sobered up a bit. So the timeline between the 2 ciders, I then got the train up to Glasgow. We'd walked to 5 guys, had the 5 guys, and I'm sobered up by this point a little bit. So on the walk to the Hydro, we stop in at the corner shop, jump in and get a bottle of Pink Hooch and a bottle of Smirnoff Ice. And Jude and I, we've not took our jackets because we know it's going to be roasting in there. It's literally 0 degrees outside. So we're like jogging down high knees with a bottle of Smirnoff Ice, drinking that as we're going down. It's like the most degenerate night I've had in so long. I feel like a wee Jake ball, but yeah, so I had the...
I thought you were going with Casey.
No, me and Jude's, it wouldn't be a place to go.
That's what I thought. I was like, I can't imagine he's gone with his girlfriend.
No, so I was talking to my mum about it. I was like, Deftones would be sick. Like, I'm considering it. And then she was like, oh, yeah, that would be cool. But I was like, I'm not going to book that. Like, I just don't know. It's too out there. And then for Christmas, she got me tickets. And I was like, fuck yeah, we'll go for it. So we went there. Again, midway through, like I'd properly kind of sobered up by this point because we'd been in watching Denzel Curry. That was the act.
Oh,
before.
shit.
Mate, that was the act before Denzel. So strange. Black guy rapping, and then like I don't know if I would say it's like the whitest band ever, but it is.
They're pretty white.
Or it
Is
just
that Denzel guy quite famous?
yeah, you would know the song. I'm not going to play it because I tried to play it on what's the Beyond the Process, and you can't hear music on here. Or maybe because it's not Zoom, I can, but I'm going to try it. So it was like complete contrast. But again, we ran back out because we needed a pee. I got my 2 ciders down me. It was honestly like a drinking challenge. I really struggled. Then ran back into the mosh pit, got launched about, and actually didn't feel too bad during it. But then middle of the night, 3 a.m., I'm like, oh fuck. I'm like, am I going to be sick? Am I not going to be sick? And I just decided I'm making the executive decision to go be sick. You know, usually you need to kind of force it, get your hands down your
Yeah.
throat, and I didn't take anything. As soon as I took one knee down, all over the toilet, and then I was like, fuck. I'm going to shit myself as well. So I had to turn around and shit into the sick, and then be sick again. So that was really good. Most optimal weekend I've had in quite some
So
time.
right after this has happened, yeah.
Yep.
Now, do you think you'll ever do this again?
Yes. I do.
Yes.
This is what I just do not understand. Like,
That's a very small price to pay for a great night.
no, but you could have still had a great night. This is what I'm getting at. Like, you could have still had a great night and not got that drunk.
I wasn't that drunk. It was just the timing and the actions around me slamming 2 pints that made it worse. Like it wasn't like I'm horrendously drunk, I need to be sick because I'm like out my face blackout. Like I was moderately drunk and tipsy the whole time, which was nice. It was like a really good amount. It made it more enjoyable. You know, like I just didn't care as much about singing, running at people, doing shit. Like that was good. I wasn't like blurred, pure all over the place. It was a nice level of drunk. I think it was actually just running about, having the Five Guys beforehand and shit. Like it took away from my ability to actually digest anything and shit. So
It's like training to failure and reps in reserve. They both work, but training to failure is more.
What do you enjoy more?
Yeah.
training failure is more fun. Exactly.
Both get
So
the job done, but training to
yeah,
failure is fun.
you'd rather. That's the thing though. Like I don't drink to just enjoy some drinks. Like if I'm going to drink, it's going to be once or twice a year,
Yeah.
and I'm going to get drunk. You know, like that.
Yeah,
That's
but
the
so
idea.
that I'm gonna get drunk. I agree, but not to the point where I'm gonna be sick. Like I would be like, I'm gonna get drunk to the point where I can feel I've had a drink, and then I'll drink waters in between drinks, and I won't take it too far. Whereas you guys, well, Noah, maybe not recently, but in the past, Matt, I know obviously like when you go out with your boys, you're like, right, I'm just gonna fucking get on it. But like, I just don't get that. Like,
It's
I
because
literally
you
think
don't
I have
do
a
it.
I have a better night for not getting to that point.
Nah, go big or go home.
No,
Yeah.
but, like
Were you ever like that growing up though? Because when I was growing up, that's what you do. Like
Yeah,
you start
I grew
drinking
up
whenever
with
you're
that.
like
Oh mate,
15.
yeah, I've been
You get
there.
fucked.
I've been there, but like I've learned that once you've done it once or twice, I think I've been drunk to the point where I've been sick twice, and then I've
Ever?
never. Yeah, because I've learned from it. Because I feel like it's so easy to learn.
Nah,
You can just
don't
throw up
learn
though. It
from your
doesn't like mean
mistakes. Just keep
anything.
making them.
Huh?
I said, don't learn from your mistakes. Just keep making them.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
I hope Riverside clips this up for
Is
the
that
week.
is that our new
AI
slogan?
real.
We can all collab as a post. Just get really drunk, be sick, shit on your sick, be sick again, and don't learn from your mistakes. There you go.
So my, I think two that I remember, and they're fucking bad as well. This is probably why I've like learned. First one, and then this is I'm sorry. It was for a kid who had cancer. It was like mate. It was like honestly, it was like an event at school, and this kid had cancer, right? And like we all went, and it was like a fundraiser. And for some reason, me and my boys, like we were like 15, we were all fucking battered, right?
That's bad enough in the first place.
But what's weird is none of us knew this kid. I don't know why we were going or why we were drunk.
Run up.
It was literally like, what are we doing? Anyway, I was sick outside it, like sat on this bench, and I can still feel it now, like my head spinning. And then the other one, and like I'm kind of not to blame for this, but I am. I was 16 and I was on a football trip because I was playing for a men's team, like semi-pro, because I was a fucking baller. And they sneaked me in. We were in Essex for a pre-season tour for the weekend in Essex. Played 2 games. And they sneaked me into this club on the Saturday night. Because I was obviously 16. There was me and a couple of the lads that were like too young, so we didn't have ID. And they sneaked us in. And it was like all the only way is Essex people. There
Is
was
this when you
football-
seen like fucking
yeah,
Andy
the
Carroll?
footballers.
Andy
there was
Carroll
Andy
and
Carroll,
all
there was Kevin Nolan, there was like loads of the football players, and I was fucked. And I was obviously like just like drinking because everyone else was drinking and like thinking I was a fucking boy. And then I was sick in the like there was like a VIP section and like an ice bucket in the table, and I was sick in that.
That's mega.
I had a similar
Right.
experience. I remember Whitey and we were out with all the rugby boys, and we went to like some rugby club for like a dinner, and then we all went out after. And I remember being in Spoons, just being like I'm going to Whitey here, but I just couldn't be bothered moving. So I just grabbed an empty pint glass, just shoved it in, filled it up, grabbed another one, filled that up, and then just set them on the table. It was the most composed Whitey I've ever had in my life. No sick anywhere, just everything in the glass.
Yeah, I used to
How
get sick.
horrible is that feeling? That feeling of being sick is the worst thing ever.
I disagree. I think it feels brilliant.
What after you're sick though?
The
Why?
feeling of it
Yeah.
getting out of your system, and then you're like, I'm back.
Right, so let's say when you haven't, it's not alcohol induced, so food poisoning or something like that. You know when it's like projectile vomit and it like and it fucking oh mate, and your eyes
It
are
doesn't-
watering
it
and you're
doesn't
like
make you feel better afterwards either. Like 5 minutes later, you're straight back to it. Yeah,
yeah,
horrendous.
that is
I've
the
had
worst
a few
feeling
nights where it's mainly when I've went to like Glenetta for something. I've maybe got bitten. I don't know. I've like drank some of the water and there's something fucked. Like I've got this like really bad bug. Middle of the night, like I've already been sick a few times. I'll jump back into the toilet and try to be sick again. I've got nothing and legit just suffocating. Like
Just
there's
retching.
nothing
Yeah.
there and nothing's happening, but I can't stop. As soon as it begins, it's like a good 40 seconds of me just bulking. Nothing's happening. I honestly thought I was gonna pass out. I was screaming like, "Mom, help!" I was like, I'm gonna fucking die here. Yeah, it's a horrible, horrible feeling. Like I was sick, nearly shat myself, and then was sick, and then went back into bed, and I was fine for the rest of the night. Woke up in the morning, water down me because I'd got water in like before I went to bed as well, and I was fine the next day. Like I wasn't hungover, sick or anything. I was just like felt very sluggish, like brain fog. Everything just felt like slow and off and shit. I had a lot to do, so I ended up just resting there and then training the Sunday. Went to Elite Fitness Ayrshire, which was brilliant, really good gym, a wee hidden gem. So shout out Elite Fitness. They looked after us really well. The owners were lovely, and they're getting some good kit in as well. So yeah, a successful week in my books.
That was a good chat.
Ready for it
That
next
was good.
weekend. To be fair, Jude and I have looked for like more kind of I don't know metal concerts. I think Foo Fighters are playing in
Hey, come and
Liverpool.
see Shadow.
Are
mate.
they?
Hey,
Foo Fighters are unreal. I'd go see them again, to be fair.
Oh mate, I didn't know that they were playing.
Yeah, I would definitely go watch them, but they're down in Liverpool, and then I think Metallica are like June time.
That'd be fucking wild.
Yeah, they're playing at Hampden, which would be sick. So
Ooh. When's that?
late end of June, I believe.
Oh, peak week, peak week.
Yeah. Finn, what do you think about going into a mosh pit and getting launched about for the week? Yeah, my full left side was all like bruised and battered and shit. Like when I was being sick, my mum came in and she was like, "Oh my god, what's happened to your back?" Because it's all just been gubbed by people scratching me. Mad goths. There was I put a video up on my story and there was a girl with her hands up. My dad was like, "Why is there a witch with her hands up in front of me?" She had these big giant long nails and shit. They're terrifying. But sorry, enough about the
Deftones
concerts.
aren't even that heavy though.
No,
They're not
definitely.
that heavy, are they? Like,
It depends on the song.
People that like Deftones like heavier stuff though.
Yeah, there was a song where the lyrics were just suck it, suck it, suck it, suck it, suck it, bitch. And it was just him screaming that over and over and over and over again. So like nobody was singing, like it was just 3 minutes of straight running and
Scrapping.
seeing how much you could hurt the person next to you. There was like a few big, massive, fucking giant cunts there as well. You just knew to avoid them. You just look at them, you would run into them, they were just like the unmovable object, and you just kind of run away from them. But yeah, it was an interesting experience for sure, and I would definitely recommend to anyone that's thinking about doing it.
I've not been to a gig in so long. You went to the Kooks, Finn. I don't know when the last one I've been to though. Oh, I tell a lie. It would have been. Oh fuck! No, no man, I forget. But there was people mosh pitting to Jerry Cinnamon when I was there.
Yeah,
Hey,
same.
so I went to the Kooks,
Yeah.
but the K's were on before the Kooks, right? The K's are this like Liverpudlian band. They're actually really good, and we didn't know who they were, but like now we listen to them a bit, and like people were like there was like mosh pits to some of their songs, like not necessarily mosh pits, but like fucking bouncing around, like,
Yeah.
and they're not heavy at all. Like it's just like songs that you like get your head bopping to.
I was saying, it was on the Beyond the Process one. There was a mosh pit when I went to see the Snots, which are just like chilled
It's
out.
nuts.
Yeah, chilled out band from Glasgow.
It's crazy, mate. People are just mental. I'd maybe like to go see like the Playboy Carti or something like that just for the experience of it being mad. Like
Yeah.
music's alright, but just of people going mental.
I want to go see The Weeknd, not for like that, not for like going mental, just for like the production.
Yeah.
Like at Wembley, I should have really got tickets for it. That'd have been sick.
When is it? You can still get tickets.
I don't know. I think it's sold out, but I'll have a look.
Yeah, you might be able
Sure,
to get
it's like
last minute
this
ones.
year or back end of this year. I
TJ,
know Dylan got some.
sorry, one of the boys, TJ, that I met there, he paid £70 for one last minute because like one of his mates just offered up to him.
Yeah.
That's tidy. We were looking at it was like 200 quid.
It was £200. That's what he paid for it, and he one day before paid £70 because somebody just wasn't going. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure if there's Facebook group chats this and that, you'd be able to do it as well. But
Yeah. Did you ever go Transmit?
nah, I always looked ass.
My
Yeah,
mates always go. They go every
Mate, whenever you're 16, you feel like a beast.
I was gonna say it's full of like 14.
It's a pure minor fest.
young people.
Terrible. Yeah, I'd maybe like to go to like what's the is it? No,
Reading or Leeds Fest.
Wireless or something like the rap one.
Yeah.
Like that used to be quite appealing, but again, it's just full of younger people. I'd like to go see like a techno EDM, maybe like a Tiesto, Armin van Buuren, something like that. Like, but again, I don't know the crowd that will
There'll just be people on pingers.
Yeah.
Martin
Yeah.
Garrix.
the problem. Yeah, as long as I've had a few ciders, I'm reading. Yeah. But on to some educational stuff to maybe wrap us up. Sadly.
Should we do the peak week training that we didn't get onto last time?
Yeah. I don't even know what we finished up with last time.
We spoke about training throughout a prep and like just how to sort of try and hold on to performance and not to change things too much. Obviously, adjust your volume based on your energy availability and your performance and stuff. But we didn't really get into like intricacies of like how to manage peak week training, maybe when you should last train legs closest to the show, intensity of your sessions before the show. Should you do pump sessions? Should you not? That kind of thing. Like reps in reserve. Should you stick to your same movements? Lengthened loading versus shortened loading. Like all that kind of stuff. We spoke about like making sure you don't drop intensity so much for multiple weeks if you've got like multiple peaks back to back, because you can just look detrained. But we didn't really discuss like properly how you would set up for a peak week, or at least an ideal scenario. So I think the first thing that I always look at is what category that athlete is in. So for example, if it's a bodybuilder, realistically I don't want them training legs within 5 days of the show. I'd say between 5 and 7 days is a good point for like your last one. So you've still trained them relatively recently and they're not massively flat and detrained, but you've not trained them so close that they're still recovering or they're still inflamed. But that is different for men's physique guy. They could realistically get away with the leg session a bit closer, still wouldn't have it within maybe 2-3 days. Again, for example, a bikini girl, their pump session's probably going to be quite different to a men's physique guy's pump session. A bikini girl, you're probably going to be looking at getting some blood through the glutes and through, the side delt, whereas a men's physique guy, you're not fucking doing glutes in your pump session. So that's the first thing I would say. In your guys' experience, what would you say in terms of like closest you'd want to train legs?
I mean, I'd done it not the night, it wasn't the night before, but it was like the morning before. Vegas, because my legs were like ridiculously flat and dead by that.
You didn't train legs, did you? Literally
Yeah,
just
no,
did
I just went in like alongside my upper. I'd done like a few light sets. I think it was 2 sets of just a leg extension and hamstring curls, just getting like a little bit of blood through them, but mainly focusing that a little bit more through the quads and just trying to get some blood into them. But I would say just for anyone like to not be doing them, as you were saying, after the Monday or the Tuesday. If you're competing on Sunday, like
I go Tuesday.
yeah, a good few people train like their legs on the Monday and stuff like that. So that would be the last leg session. You don't do your, let's say you train legs on the Monday and then the Friday, or you do it on the Tuesday and the Saturday. You just wouldn't do the Friday or the Saturday session. It's not going to take away from, again, like the routine of the weekend, because it's going to be different than what you're used to anyway. Your final session ideally being just like an upper pump session. And if you're doing, if you're going on stage on Sunday, I'd usually say for that to be the Friday. Ideally, like the day before the show, resting up, just chilling out, relaxing. Usually when you see people, pumping up the day before, it's maybe that they're a little bit heavier, they're trying to wash off a little bit of kind of extra weight that they're holding. It depends on the situation, but I would look to have the final day before the show as a rest day where you can chill out, relax, keep your feet up, try not to do as many steps and shit like that. But yeah, I wouldn't say legs any later than say the Tuesday if you're competing on the Sunday, and Monday if you're competing on the Saturday.
Yeah, I think the whole concept of having the day before completely off as well is because often people are traveling. You often got to get your tan, you got to register. The last
Yeah.
thing you really want to have to be doing is trying to cram in a session as well. But yeah, like you said, if somebody's spilled a bit more than you'd like them to be spilled, then a light pump session on the day before is never a bad idea. You could do that at home, just get a bit of a sweat on, pose a little bit, do a couple of rounds of press ups and stuff. Like you don't need to go crazy and go to the gym. But if they're a little bit spilled and you're like, okay, right, it's probably more than you want them to be, then yeah, you could do that. I'd rather do that than the sort of day before, night before, rather than having to do that in the morning and them sort of stressing, thinking, why am I doing a pump session in the morning? You know what I mean? Like, it's the last thing you want to be doing. You want to be on the show day, you want to be just able to get to the show and sort of chill. But yeah, realistically, spilling slightly like the night before is never a bad thing. Like, ultimately, you're always going to dry off overnight. If you use diuretics, like natural diuretics, you're going to dry off a bit more. But even without them, you're still going to quote unquote dry off overnight. Everybody wakes up dehydrated, like no matter what. So yeah, and then in terms of like, well, we said it last week, didn't we? Your last pump session, like for you, Josh, like you say, for your clients, you'll sort of say like, let's replicate what you would do backstage. So maybe just use bands, maybe just use like small dumbbells. If you've got like, think about what you're gonna have backstage. So if you, let's say, go to the gym, maybe you could use a cable because that's again going to replicate bands relatively closely. But if you're literally wanting to be like, no, I want it to be exactly what I know I'm going to do backstage. Again, if you're somebody who needs that,
I was going to say different personalities. Some people want that.
Yeah,
some people don't
that's
care.
fine.
Like, it depends. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, for me, I'm like, I'd rather just actually have a decent pump session and not just use bands and light dumbbells. I know that I'll be able to get a pump backstage as long as I'm full. You know what I mean? No matter what, I'll do some press ups, I'll do some, banded rows or some fucking rows with a t-shirt. If I've got someone backstage, I'm going to be able to get a pump. I know that if I've got some equipment, I've done it enough to the point where I'm like, I don't really need to practice it necessarily.
You've got the experience.
Yeah, in the days before. I think as well, like a lot of it is when people, especially as a first timer, you completely forget how to even get a pump when you're backstage. You're like, everything goes out the window and you're like, what do I do? What do I do? So if you've got clients who are first timers, write them out like a sort of a basic sort of plan as to like, right, do this. This is your pump session backstage. If you're stressing out, just follow that. Yeah, it might be, right, you go around in a circuit kind of format of lateral raises, biceps, press ups, some form of a lat row, some form of an upper back row, and then let's say, a tricep push down or whatever it might be. And you just rotate through that. Maybe once you've done a full round, catch your breath, you do some light calf raises, and then you do one round of posing. You do that 3 times, 20 to 30 minutes before you're looking to be on stage. By the time you've done that, that 20 to 30 minutes is now 10 or so minutes. And it's like, okay, right, cool, where feels like I need a bit more of a pump?
Yeah,
But a lot of it is about like staying calm. It's so easy to just start stressing and looking around at what everyone else is doing, and you just don't even think. You just start getting a sweat on and just like rushing through everything instead of actually thinking, am I actually getting a pump through this area? Am I actually feeling full through this area? When I pose, where feels like I can actually, I can feel that I'm full, and where doesn't. Most of the time, it's so easy to just start stressing and rushing and looking at everyone else and thinking, and you're hearing 5 minutes until you're on, like everything becomes a bit rushed. That's why it's good to have your coach backstage, because they can just like keep you a bit calmer, or have a friend backstage who's been there. But yeah, I think having at least something written down so that if you do lose your head a little bit, you've got something written down that you can just go out and following that.
Yeah, go back to, yeah. It's obviously a big part of it as well, like actually going on stage and presenting your physique to the best ability. So practicing that on the Friday, timing it in a sense and being like, right, I'm not pissing about here. I'm going to have 30 minutes to do it. And you're not trying to overly stress yourself out and be like, oh, it can only be 30 minutes. But do think realistically how long we're going to have, and then go for there. But yeah, that kind of covers the pump session side of things. In terms of intensity for your sessions, like throughout the week, definitely for your leg session, I'd be looking to work at least 1 to 3 reps in reserve, and more so towards like the 2 to 3 reps in reserve for the leg session, because you're not trying to do anything mad, just trying to get good blood flowing and making sure that you're actually getting stimulus without fucking your legs up. Possibly not even doing some like more lengthened loaded movements, your hack squats, your leg presses and stuff like that. Instead doing more short and bias movements that aren't going to therefore cause as much fatigue or take as long to recover from. So doing more of your leg extension work. your isolations, your hamstring curls and stuff like these, you can get more from that without cooking yourself quite as much. Same thing goes like, with your press, and do you want to do flies instead of that, lateral raises instead of shoulder presses, and like when you're trying to do different areas, trying to train it and being a little bit more sensible and not having movements like a deadlift, for example. If you're maybe 4 days away from competing, do you want to be doing a full blown hinging set? Most likely not. Even if that is at reps in reserve, you've still got 160 to 200 kg on there. If you're quite strong, like that is going to fuck you up a little bit. So, if you are doing that, trying to go a little bit lighter, again, working slightly higher reps in reserve. But with the sessions in general, I'd be looking to work at least 1 to 2 reps in reserve. Like, don't murder yourself in them, because it's just going to make it harder to recover from. And again, all you're trying to do is get the foods into these areas. You're not trying to grow within peak week. It's not the idea behind it. So just be careful of your intensity, and you get better as you go through the season as well. Like for myself, I actually ended up getting really good at like 2 rep in reserve training. I could still really get myself psyched up for it. I could have really good high quality sets. Make sure it's not just like, all right, it's peak week, I can chill out, I can relax, and I can just piss about in the gym. Like, still be accurate with what you're doing, still get after what you're doing, but just be much more sensible with your intensity.
Yeah, I think like, as you said, it's very easy for people to go, oh, it's peak week, so like I'm just getting a pump. And just getting a pump can be like literally fuck all. Like you could be in there 10, 15 minutes, but oh yeah, I got a pump. And then before you know it, that amount of food that you've been having has been there fueling these 2-hour sessions, really hard progressive sessions. And now it's like you're doing fuck all. And before you know it, the food that you've been seeing yourself every high day or every refeed gain, let's say 0.2 to 0.5 kilos from, you're gaining 1.5 kilos because your steps are lower and so on and so forth. So obviously food's going to be adjusted a little bit based on that. But yeah, I definitely just think like for most people, like still don't see it as a week of progressive training, but still train hard. I mean, don't see it as like I've got to progress my hack this week, like I've got to progress my deadlift, but don't completely neglect all those movements. Like still push yourself, still train hard. Again, 1-2 reps in reserve is fucking hard training, by the way. I mean, like that's not easy. Like if you leave 2 reps in reserve on a big leg press or a big hack, like that's still a hard set. That's not like training like a pussy. So yeah, and again, if you've got multiple peaks, that's something you do need to be really careful with, because like it's so easy. I've seen it with myself. I've seen it with clients. The look just gets worse because your training's getting worse. So that is one thing to definitely be careful with.
Yeah, it's a difficult one to manage. And Matt, I think you'd done a few back-to-back shows, no?
Just once. It was from the UK to FBA into the Europeans, and I remember looking back, I feel like I needed this session mentally, but physically it put me in the bin. We trained the Monday after in Apollo, and for me it was like leg pull or something, and I just remember just going mental on barbell rows. It was like dead stop barbell rows, pendulum squat, leg extension, just because like I think at that point I'd realised my training had kind of dropped off and wasn't overly happy with the results, so I just put so much emotion into that one training session, and then recovery ability wasn't really there because I was travelling back home trying to get ready for the next show. So if it was a normal week, I would have recovered from that session, but because it wasn't, and I was into another peak week, and getting home, scrubbing the tan off, getting my meals prepped, getting stuff washed ready to go away again on the Thursday, it was like I didn't recover from it, so I just put myself in a bit of a hole heading into the next show. And I think we took had an extra rest day or two during that week, didn't we?
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, we like clawed it back a bit, didn't we, then? Because it was like when I saw you in person in Denmark, it was like, right, something's not quite right. And then I think sodium was playing a role. I think also you just needed more food. You also just probably were a bit fucked from that Monday and all the travel and everything. But then, like, come the pump up session, there's some really good shots in that gym.
Yeah, that was one day out in Powerhouse. Like
the look on the day was good. It wasn't you at your best, but obviously it was good enough to still win. But by that point, you definitely started to fade, just with it being lean for a while, and like you say, training not being great for those sort of last few weeks.
Mm. It would have been interesting to see what it looked like if it'd gone and done the natural Olympia. Probably would have just been a big bean on stage. No muscle.
It's difficult, isn't it? Because how many weeks will have been between it?
It's like 2 or 3.
Yeah, like it's not long enough to like properly feed up and recover from it. You know what I mean? It's like you probably would have been, if it was 6 weeks later and you just reversed into it, you'd probably been better off.
Yeah, I think training on that Monday like depends on the person and depends how demanding the show was as well. Like if you're getting posed hard, your knees are absolutely done in, like you've been contracting everything for so long and you just feel very fucked. Again, if maybe it was me and I was travelling back up to Scotland
Yeah,
for
you might have a whole load of driving to do as well on top of that
no
all.
chance I'm training on the Monday. Like some people do like to train the Monday and some people go in for like a leg session directly after it, but it's like, is that the smartest thing to do? You know,
You know what
like
I think is a good post-show ritual, like the day after? If the show's on a Saturday, obviously then on a Sunday. If the show's on a Sunday, then on a Monday. If you can, I think don't train and just go and like reflect over the show and look at your photos. Maybe go and like have a coffee. Remember, like some of my best memories from my last prep were literally like the day after the show, not fucking stressing so much about having to do cardio or steps or having to get back to clients immediately, but actually just like going through the show and looking at my photos. You know, it's like because I'd never do that. I'd just be like, right, I've got work to do, just crack on. But I remember there's a couple of times where I went to Starbucks or I went to like a different cafe in Loughborough and just like actually went through my photos and actually went through the show a little bit and like reflected on it a little bit and actually sort of thought about what happened rather than just being like, right, fuck, I've got check-ins to do. You know what I mean? So like,
that's why I found it not that hard. Like between shows, like people are like, oh, it was so difficult. Like, and between the shows is the hardest part. Like, I would always be traveling back on the Monday, and yes, it was stressful, and I'd have loads of work to get back to, but I'd have a little bit more time to just be like, oh, that was sick, that was cool. And then by the time the Tuesday comes around, I'm like, right, I'm ready. You know, I want to get back into this. Like that Monday there, I've not trained, and maybe don't feel as quite as productive for doing so. I'm fired up to get back into it, and then it's like the next show's in 2 weeks. I'm motivated to improve. People always speak about that, like between the shows being the hardest periods, and I guess from like a physical standpoint and actually assessing and analysing the physique, and yes, but I think mentally, like I really liked between the shows because it was just like, right, next show's coming, I need to be better, let's go.
I
I think
think
you
if
were in a very
you're,
good position though, weren't you?
yeah,
Like if imagine you get on stage and you're like, I lost because of condition, and you've got
I
like
guess
two,
so.
3 weeks to the next show, and you're like, I've just had a fantastic peak week of loading into the show, and now I've got to dig for another show.
Dig your ass out.
Yeah, so it is
that's it.
something
It's
dependent.
this.
Yeah, it's
At
the
the
other
end of a
one on
prep, if
point.
you're having to do that, that's what shit. Ideally, you want to have done a bit of that on the way down, and then you can just sort of cruise into your shows and then either feed up into them or just maintain. Like, if you're like pretty much not having to drop any body fat or get leaner between shows, the look just gets better through fine tuning, peaking, or being maybe a little bit fresher, a little bit fuller for one show, or a bit drier for one show. You're not actually trying to get leaner.
Yeah.
That's when it's like, yeah, like for example, for you, Josh, that's where you were. But for a lot of people, they're not in that boat. They're like, fuck, I lost because I'm fat.
Yeah. I also think like for some people they're like, oh, it's such a head fuck when my food's now starting to go up the way. Like when I've been used to digging. But also again do think it's like, right, my coach knows me well. I've communicated with him well. If he thinks my food should be going up, then my food should be going up and I'm just gonna stick to it and I'm excited for it. You know, like I was really excited to see it because obviously I was fucking hungry, so I was always gonna be buzzing with my food going up. I was like, right, I'm excited to get fuller. It's the game on, you know. So
Remember when we like, I said to you, I was like, mate, like we're done with fat loss, like
yeah,
weeks and weeks out, and you were like, what? And I was like, mate, you're literally getting worse. I was like, you honestly look a bit worse now. We need to
yeah,
make sure we don't keep getting worse, and we just started like feeding up and feeding up, and it was like, you know, I think maybe it wasn't. It was maybe 10 weeks from the last show. Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, it was maybe a good few weeks from the first show. Obviously, the WMBF we hadn't confirmed yet. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But like at that point, you were like, "Oh fuck yeah!" And like, I remember you posted like a side by side, and you were like knowing when like to be sort of done with fat loss and not trying to push for more.
Yeah, again, it's just trusting your coach, and I also think it's again experience and maturity as well, and being able to take on that feedback and be a little bit more objective with yourself, detaching from your emotions slightly. Like I remember you when I was in Romania, I was really flat. I don't think about things too much. So I'm just like, right, fuck it. I was in the photos, this and that, and you were like, fuck, he's really flat. But you also didn't want to be like, Josh, you're really fucking flat. But by that point, like if that was my first show, yeah, of course,
Yeah,
no
you
chance.
already
I
knew.
would have shit the bed, being like, oh no, no, no. But see, because I was like so used to it, and I was just so, you know, kind of, I don't know, it was so normal for me. Like, you could literally say whatever you wanted to me. You know, I just say, Josh, you're like horrendously flat. We need to eat a lot of food. And I'll be like, yeah, sounds cool. So I think that does just come with maturity and experience within that as well. But trying to just like not detach from your emotions, but not worry and overthink and stress and stuff like that when it comes to show day and when it comes around, things have been good, but then something different happens. You're like, oh no, 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 and then you need to change around this and that. Like keeping your head screwed on, making sure that you just follow the plan. Because
That's what I was saying to you today, Noah. Like, just trying to work with what's in front of you. So, like, if something does change from this plan that you've got in your head that's so set in your head, if something does change for whatever reason, like knowing that that's okay, and like I can deviate from this plan that I had set because of X, Y, Z, and like that's all right. I can still be looking really good. I can still be, absolutely my best for this show and that show. Like, again, like I'll have clients where we might have to add in an extra meal because they've been at the tan for too long, and then they're like, oh, but should we do that? And I'm like, yes, I've told you to do it, just do it. Don't think, like, you asking me, should we do that? You're stressing yourself out more than you need to be. Just follow the plan. Like, yeah, we didn't plan to have another meal, but you've been on your feet for 4 hours, stood in a queue, and you've lost weight or you look flat and you feel fucking shit. You're gonna add more food in, and like, if you've thought, but this was my plan, like it causes more stress. That's why, again, like a peak week shouldn't be given to you at the start of peak week. If your coach has gone, here's your peak week plan, mate, at the start of peak week, run a fucking mile. Because so many things can change. Like we've just said about, like, your weight might change more or less than you'd expect based on your training intensity dropping off a little bit because you're not trying to be battered for for the show day and so on. So yeah, that's why like within a prep, we'll get clients obviously checking in. Even sometimes I have clients checking in daily from 6 to 12 weeks out, depending on how lean they are. If they're too ready too early, you're checking in daily because it's like, oh fuck, we need to keep you fuller and fresher because you're a bit ahead of the game, ahead of schedule.
yeah,
And likewise, when it comes to like peak week, checking in maybe multiple times a day, in terms of morning, post workout, pre bed, per meal when you're loading, if you're doing like a rapid backload, things like that, to see how well they're uptaking carbs and stuff. That it might seem like a lot, but it's also so that we know we can put the client on stage at their best. It's not just like for the sake of getting them to pose constantly.
sometimes it might be unconventional as well what you're doing, but again, it's like there's a reason that I'm doing it, and I've weighed things up and I've thought about it all. So we're going to do this, and it's going to be best for you. I remember AJ posting. I think that was at that time, which is why I was like, "Fuck it!" Like anything happens, I'm just going to accept it, and having that as what it is mindset. Because AJ had put up like my most successful athletes. He had. Oh, I can't remember the guy's name. He was really, really good. So he'd had him prep before, and he'd had another client who was really good that year. And there was a podcast episode where it was asked like, what's the most common kind of trait with those type of guys? And he was like, they just don't stress. When I say do something, do it. And it's like, just relax, and obviously sometimes you can't control, like, something mad happens, like you just get this like stress that you can't help, it's mad. But if it's like something's changed in the plan, whatever it may be, just continuing to keep yourself calm and just roll with it. That is what it is, keeping that mindset, just being like, yeah, it sounds so.
It is a very common trait though with successful bodybuilders. Is that
Yeah, successful people in general as well.
Yeah,
You don't want to be too,
especially
you don't want to be too
bodybuilders. I feel
chilled,
like
but like,
stress does play a big role.
yeah, cortisol management's obviously massive within the peak week itself, but yeah, I think like the basics for your peak week training, to kind of wrap that up: don't murder yourself, but also don't be a fucking pussy. Still train hard, in the sense of 1 to 3 reps in reserve still should be challenging. It's just not enough to put you in the bin and like the night of or the day after feeling absolutely cooked. A pump up session to finish your week off. Don't train legs within, I don't know, 4 to 5 days maybe of the show. I'd be looking at 5 to 7 as your maximum there. Other stuff, I think that honestly covers it. Like, it's not that complicated. Don't be a tit. Communicate with your coach. Continuously send over feedback as to how you're actually feeling. Like Matt, for example, if Matt never said anything after that leg session or leg pull session, it would have been a different result there. So making sure you are communicating with your coach if you have fucked yourself. But yeah, I think that covers that pretty well. Next episode, I think it would be cool to actually discuss like peak weeks themselves and different loading options, and we're speaking about different things that you do there, communicating with your coach and how that process sort of looks. People don't understand like really what a peak week is, and a lot of people think it's just complete magic whereas it's be more realistic with that. What does that look like on a day-to-day basis? What the different loading processes look like, the communication, the check-ins and everything like that, getting closer towards the show. I think that'd be pretty cool to run through as well. But
Yeah.
I think that wraps us up. Good. Any other stuff that you want to mention?
No, that was good. I'm happy to go through that, like different peaking strategies and stuff next time. That'd be good.
Sick. Perfect. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in once again. We do appreciate it. Please do like, subscribe if you're on YouTube, follow, 5 stars, notifications on Spotify as well. As always, story shares are massively appreciated, especially after putting such a huge investment into Riverside Pro. Get the 14-day free trial, so I'll just use that, then cancel it, and we'll set it up with Matt's email, then cancel it, then Noah's, then cancel it.
Over and over and over.
Just keep on creating new emails. But no, thank you all for watching. See you in the next episode. Catch you.